Hello students. Welcome back to my channel, the Goddess of Econ. Today's lecture will cover the case of market failure due to information asymmetry. In doing so, I will use the market for lemons as an example. If you are curious to know what is really meant by the term lemon here, please follow me to the next slide. In the car market, the term lemon refers to a vehicle that turns out to have significant defects or issues. These issues might not show up during a brief test drive or inspection but could become apparent after regular use. Now, let's take a look at the following hypothetical used car market, where both good cars and lemons coexist. Let's assume there are 100 sellers and 100 buyers of used cars in the market, just for the sake of simplicity. Additionally, let's assume that out of a total of 100 cars, there are 50 good ones, let's call them peaches for fun, and 50 bad ones, aka lemons. Now, let's also assume the following. Sellers are happy to sell their peaches at $2,000. This means that, to the sellers, the value of a peach is $2,000. Of course, they will be happier if they can sell their peaches at a higher price. But they will never sell them below $2,000. Similarly, owners of lemons are happy to sell them at $1,000. This means that, to the sellers, the value of a lemon is $1,000. Of course, they will be happier if they can sell their lemons at a higher price. Next, let's assume the following. From the buyer's point of view, they are willing to pay up to $2,400 for peaches, as the value they assign to a peach is exactly that amount. Also, buyers are willing to pay up to $1,200 for lemons, as the value they assign to a lemon is exactly $1,200. Please note that these numbers are assumed slightly higher than those assigned by the sellers. Now, under the assumption of perfect information, what do you guys think will happen? Given the subjective values assigned to the cars by buyers and sellers in the market, we can conjecture that peaches will be traded at some price between $2,000 and $2,400. Likewise, we can expect that lemons will be traded at some price between $1,000 and $1,200. There's nothing difficult about it. Very straightforward so far. But to make it a little bit more complicated, let me introduce the assumption of information asymmetry. Now, instead of perfect information, let's assume that there exists asymmetry of information between the sellers and the buyers. That is, let's assume only the sellers know whether the cars are peaches or lemons. Then the only info that the buyers can rely on would be the fact that there's a 50-50 chance that the cars they're about to buy are lemons. So, that means, to the prospective buyer, the expected value of the car is as follows. $1,200 times 1/2, plus $2,400 times 1/2, given that there is a 50-50 chance that the car is either a peach or a lemon. So, the expected value in this case comes out to be $1,800. But, wait a minute. Will all the sellers be happy to sell their cars at or around this price? Let's take a look at the assumption 1 in slide 4. Do you see it? Even though buyers are willing to pay up to $1,800, at that price, it seems clear that no peach owner would be willing to offer his car. So, at $1,800, only lemons will be offered for sale. But what will happen over time? Sooner or later, buyers will get to realize that only lemons are offered in the market. It is inevitable that, over time, the equilibrium price will decrease to a new level between $1,000 and $1,200, reflecting the fact that only lemons are left in the market. So, the used car market we have just described where only lemons are left, is an example of a market failure or a market collapse. This is, in fact, quite a sad story. In that kind of market, only lemons will be offered for sale, with all peach owners leaving the market eventually. Quite sadly here, information asymmetry has driven good quality cars out of the market through adverse selection. Maybe at this point, you might want to ask, what would be the maximum proportion of lemons that would not drive peaches out of the market? Well, we can easily figure it out using some simple math. Here's how. It looks quite simple, doesn't it? Here, PL denotes the proportion of lemons in the market, in percentages. Naturally, the proportion of peaches becomes 1 minus PL. The left-hand side of the inequality represents the expected value of the car to the buyer. And the right-hand side represents the value of the peach to the seller, or the minimum price at which the seller is willing to offer his peach. If you solve for PL here, you get PL is less than or equal to 1/3. So, this means Only when there is a 1/3 or lower chance that the car is a lemon can the market for both lemons and peaches exist under information asymmetry. Through this used car market example, we have seen that the bad drives out the good, similar to what Gresham's law suggests about money. However, such market failure can be prevented if good quality products sufficiently outnumber the bad quality products in the market. For example, in our hypothetical case, if peaches make up at least 2/3 of the market, then both peaches and lemons can coexist in the market. I hope you students in econ found this idea quite interesting. This idea about the market for lemons was first introduced by economist George Akerlof in 1970. He won a Nobel Prize in Economics in 2001 for the analysis of markets with asymmetric information. On a side note, he is the husband of a more famous economist, Janet Yellen, whom all of you must be more familiar with. Hope you enjoyed today's lecture. Please do not forget to like, and subscribe before you go. May God bless you all.